So many students choose to use Excel even if they don't know formulas. What they will do in this case, they'll just hand enter in all the numbers, which is fine. The nice thing about doing this is it keeps everything nice and neat. So if you don't have the greatest handwriting or you write really big, just using Excel, creating an Excel template and plugging in the numbers is fine. But if you're going to use Excel, whether you're going to use formulas or not, you need to put your name in the header. When you print it out, you will see your name in the header. This is because some students don't organize their project very well, and we have trouble telling whose Excel printouts are whose. So the way we're going to put our name in the header is we're going to go to Insert. We're going to click on Header and Footer, and then you're going to type your name here. And then to get back to our normal view, if you don't like this view, you click on View. Oops, I had to click on a different cell for it to take my name. So then you click on View and then Normal View. And now notice you can't see the header where my name is, but you will be able to see it when you print it out. So let's look at some simple formulas in case you do want to try formulas. I'm going to go to the Home tab here. And let's say I've got some numbers that I've hand-coded in there. I just typed them in there. And I don't want to have to add them on the calculator. So we can use Excel to add them up. One way you could do it, this is the inefficient way, you could say equals, you click on this cell, you hit plus, click on this cell, 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 and then hit enter. So that's the long way to add. Notice here's my formula, and it's adding up all those cells. So I'm going to do Control Z, which is undo. A more efficient way to add those up is with auto sum. So make sure your cell is, make sure you click on the cell where you want the formula to go. You click on auto sum, and then Excel is going to guess what numbers you want to add. And since there were numbers in here, it correctly guessed that we wanted to add these numbers. If you wanted to add a different set of numbers, you could grab the corner and you could scroll up there. So if there was or you can drag up there. So if there was a number here, we would want to do that. But there is no number there, so I'm just going to, I'm going to try that again. Auto sum. And so just remember, you can grab here to drag whatever it is that you want to add. I just want to add those. And then I hit enter, and there's our total. Now, if for some reason you wanted to put a total over here, and notice there are no numbers, so Excel might guess wrong. Let's say I wanted to add these up for whatever reason. Of course, we don't want to in this case. But if we did, and we hit auto sum, and let's say we only wanted to add up these three columns. So we would click over here until it becomes a double arrow. You click and then drag, so it will add up whatever you want to add. And hit enter. And now if we put numbers in there, 1, 2, 3, it adds it up for us. So now let's look at the journal. I said the journal, but I actually meant the ledger. So we're going to look at formulas for how to calculate the ledger balance. If you don't want to do formulas, you can just simply do the math. 82,000, and then notice this is cash. So if we're crediting cash, cash is going down. So you could just type 72,000 in here. But a way more efficient way to do this is with formulas. So the first formula I'm going to show you it will work, but it's not very good. Say we click here. This is where we want to put the answer. We would say equals this. And now we have to know that a credit means it's going down. So we put minus. Click on this. So it's F4 minus E5. And hit enter. And that worked. And then we have to create another cell or another formula equals this minus this, hit equal. And now this formula is going to be different because we're adding. So you would put equals this, hit plus on your keyboard, this, enter. And now that worked correctly. Should be not be italicized. Okay, so that's a clunky way. That's an inefficient way to do formulas. It works, but it's not very efficient. So I'm going to show you a different way, a better way. So I'm going to undo all these. So here is another formula that we're going to click in here or create in here, and then we're just going to drag it down. It's going to work for all of these formula or all of these cells. So for each of these cells, if a number was here in the debit column, since it's cash, we would add it. But if the number is here, we would subtract it. So check out this formula. You say equals, and we click on the previous balance, 82,000. And then we would add whatever is in here. So we'd say plus and click on here. And then, or if there was a number here, we would subtract. So you'd say minus this. So it's 82,000 plus this, which is 0, minus the credit. So hit enter, and that's correct. Now I'm going to drag it down. So to drag it down, you select the cell, select the lower right-hand corner till it turns into a plus sign, and you click and then drag down. I'm just going to drag down one cell at a time. 70,000. Hey, it worked here. Okay, now I'm going to click down here and notice we have a 20,000 over here, so it should add that and then it should subtract 0, which is basically what's in the credit side. So drag it down again, and there, it worked. So I'm going to undo those two to show you that you can just drag it down all the way and it fills in the formula correctly. So let's say the next transaction we had a credit, which would be minus, so put $1,000 in there. So this should update to 89,000. Let's say we had a $9,000 credit, so this should update to 80,000. And then let's say we had a $20,000 deposit, which is what a debit does. It makes it go up. So this should turn into 100,000 when I hit enter. There you go. So that's an efficient way to do formulas for the ledger's balance. Now this only works if you're always going to have the balance on the normal balance side, which is almost always the case. If we had a credit balance, this formula would not work. And of course, you should never have a credit balance in your cash account. That would mean you bounce some checks.